I am your host with the locks that rocks, Adam Richmond, and this is your official podcast of Born and Raised Country Music Festival, Surviving Born and Raised. And I am joined by an artist that was amazing on stage. What is up, Mr. Brent Cobb?
How are you? I don't know it. Hanging in there. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing after that performance?
It was all right. It was a little hot up there for us. I was singing to the sun, but doing all right, man. It's good to be here. I've wanted to play this festival a long time, and it's cool to be a part of it.
Man, I am so glad to have you here on this show. Can you tell me a little bit about your, performing for this audience?
Well, I feel like it's my people.
Yeah.
I tell a half joke at a bunch of my shows that goes like this. It's only taken me nearly 20 years to get to the bottom of my career, to just get started, and I'm just glad to be here. And I feel like it's taken that long to be a part of a crowd that I know is my crowd also,
I love it. Just riding the wave.
For sure, man.
And there's always something about just being in your natural element. And when it's of this size, I believe last estimate was like 14,000 people.
Right. And
you just got in here. We're home.
Well, and it's 14,000 of like just good old regular old folks, It's like I said, it's my kind of people. Me and my bass player rode through the campgrounds earlier today, and saw some old friends and met new friends, and folks doing what I do. It's my kind of people.
So are you more of the responsible folk who are taking care and like, I'm a professional, or am I going to go tear it up in the campgrounds?
A little bit of both, man.
A little bit of both?
I live a foot on both sides of the fence. Yeah, I like to have fun, and sometimes it's soberly.
Yeah.
And sometimes it ain't.
I dig it, man. And these campgrounds right here is just, man, for those who come every year or those who have been coming to its other festival, Rocklahoma, there's just something sacred about these grounds because it's a little bit of everything for everyone. I mean, if you just want to kick back and just listening to the people hoot and holler, or somebody walking around with a guitar just looking to tell their story, or if you just want it spring break, it's all here.
It's some of the nicest campgrounds I have ever seen at any festival ever.
Really?
I said that to somebody that runs it earlier. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, I've never seen campgrounds this nice, and I've been to a lot of festivals over the last 20 years or so, and I have never seen campgrounds this nice, and this like, camper friendly.
Yeah, let me tell you, Sharon and Dave Ginke have been running this property for years and years. It's their baby.
That's what I heard.
And man, they really take care of us. They look at us like all of their crazy kids.
Yeah, man.
And I appreciate, and they appreciate that too, man. Can you tell me something about playing red dirt festivals versus other types of festivals that have multi-genre in it?
Sure. Well, I mean, in my experience, it seems like and I'm sure y'all have heard this before, but like the red dirt crowd as a whole is just, they're more willing to listen to the songs, They're true fans of music, and they're not just there to party. I mean, they partying too, but everybody's thoughtful, and you can tell people really care genuinely, versus when you go to, I don't know what you'd call that, but the other side of the genre, people are more there on those other kind to just party and rub elbows.
I get you. So, tell me a little bit about the music. What are you so presently most excited about that you've been working on?
That I've been working on?
Yes, sir.
Well, I put a new album out about a year ago. It's called Southern Star. Pretty proud of that one, but I going in the studio in December. I'm gonna go out to LA. It's the first time I've recorded in LA in almost 20 years, and we're gonna start working on the next album. We'll take the road band out there with me, and man, I'm just excited to keep my lights on and my baby's fed, making music more than anything. As long as that keeps happening, I'm happy.
How long have you been considering yourself like a professional musician? Like, I'm a career musician.
Yeah, it's been 20 years.
20 years.
No kidding. Yeah, it's been 20 years, yep.
Do you have, like, what does it for you that, like, man, I just can't do nothing else? Like, I could hang it up. Like, we've went through a pandemic. I can do some other things, but no, this is just.
Well, what you just said is I can't not do it. It's who I am. I mean, if the money flow stopped, I would still be performing. I ain't scared to go cut some trees down again either. Yeah. I used to work for a tree service crew, and we would transplant with pines and stuff. But anyway, I wouldn't mind doing that again. I could do that, but I would still write songs even then. It's just what I do. It really is a part of who I am.
You got any standout tales from your time as a lumberjack?
All right. This isn't too crazy, but this coincides with me beginning my career as a professional musician also. We'd been at work all day long. I was about 18, and I had just met a distant cousin of mine at a funeral, and he was a big LA record producer, and I gave him a little demo of about 6 songs that I'd been writing. I get off work that day from that tree service crew, me and my buddy, my best friend, and we had just smoked a joint, and and we were sweating, we're hot. It's the end of the day. By that time, the house phone rings. I was still living at my folks' house at that time. I didn't have a cell phone or anything. And it's that cousin who I had just met at the funeral a few days earlier. And he had Shooter Jennings with him. And this cousin had produced that Put the O Back in Country by Shooter Jennings. Dave Cobb is my cousin. And he rang, and I said, hello. And he said, hey, is Brent there? I said, it's him. He said, it's your cousin, Dave. We met at my grandma's funeral a few days ago, and I listened to your demo, and I got Shooter sitting here with me, and we want to fly you to L.A. And I looked at my buddy who's over there sweating in his work clothes, the hair tree service uniform, and I was like mouthing at the phone. I was like, holy I couldn't believe it. And so there's a story. From about a week after that, I took off to L.A. and started making music professionally. So that's a story that involves both the tree service life and the musician life.
I couldn't have asked for a better story. And that's one thing I love about red dirt country artists, or just our end of the country spectrum, is it's all about the story in the music. And some of one of my favorite events down here in the campgrounds, we were just sitting there and somebody walked up with a guitar. Can I tell you a story for a beer? Yeah. So we had him a beer, and he just started strumming and playing.
That's what's up. That's what it's all about, man. No doubt.
Do you have any so Shooter Jennings is like, oh my gosh. And do you have any other collabs that you're just like, man, I did that. I worked with that guy.
Today Miranda Lambert just put out a new album. I got a song on there that I wrote called January Heart. And I've written several songs that Miranda's recorded over the years. Whiskey Myers recorded a song that I wrote when I was 16 called Bar Guitar in a Honky Tonk Crowd. And they put that out on their Firewater album in 2011. And there's a bunch of them, man. My whole, it's been a bunch of them. I've been super blessed.
Man, such a career. What's next?
I'll just continue to try to keep the lights on and the babies fed, and I don't know. Just keep playing, keep writing.
We'll see where it goes.
Be happy to be here.
What is that? Just about every guy said, I'll figure it out.
That's it. Yeah, I'll let the Lord figure it out, and I'll just keep on traveling,
I dig it, man. Before I let every artist go, I like to give them an opportunity. Just look their fans directly in the face. Anything you've got to say to your fans, or any shout-outs. Brent, the stage is yours.
Well, you already know that I appreciate y'all listening. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And for those of you who have never heard of me, thanks for tuning in. I hope you'll listen to the music. Cheers.
Thank you so much. For Brent, I'm Adam Richmond, the host with the Locks That Rocks, the official podcast of not only Rocklahoma, but Born and Raised Country Music Festival. And until next time, rock on.